Okay, I think it's time that we talk about Paige Christie's video about Alexa Nikolas. Now, this video is called Not Alexa Nikolas Lying on Adam McIntyre and Kat Tembarge. Now, this was something that I wanted to truthfully react to for the first time on here with you guys. However, I wanted to make sure and promote it over the last couple days and allow all of you to go and watch and go and support Paige. And first and foremost, I just want to say that if you have not watched this, go and go over to Paige Christie's YouTube channel, go watch the video, go support her, go support Paige on Twitch as well. I really think that Paige is a great content creator. Go support. But anyways, over the last couple days, I had reshared Paige's video on my YouTube community and on my Instagram because, again, I wanted all of you to watch this and support Paige's work for the first time on Paige's YouTube channel before we talked about it, because I think that that is the important thing, and I think it's very clear that when you watch this video, the dedication, work, and research that Paige put into this video on Alexa Nikolas. So first and foremost, shout out to Paige Christie. And now I'm really excited to go through it and talk about it with you guys, because I think that this video was incredible about Alexa Nikolas, who, mind you, has been fucking harassing and coming after Paige Christie for the last couple days. And it makes me so fucking angry. It just seems that Alexa jumps from person to person, and it is disgusting, it's annoying, and also you. Well, Alexa coming at me is a given these days. But first and foremost, I just want to say something really interesting. So, on Alexa's live stream about Paige, it's called The Truth Paige Christie Doesn't Want You to See. BS. Alexa has linked to lawsuit posted here, right? So what we see is Nikolas versus Tembarge, and it shows the last update was September 10th, which was scheduling order, right? Now, people really quickly brought it to my attention that actually that isn't, for the record, I think, the most up-to-date version, because look at this. Nikolas versus Tembarge, September 15th, order to show clause. Okay? Or show cause, sorry. To establish the court's subject matter jurisdiction absent a claim arising under federal law, the plaintiff must allege that there is a complete diversity of citizenship between the parties and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000 US. While plaintiff's complaint alleges that she's a resident of California and the defendant is a resident of New York, a statement of residency is insufficient to establish diversity jurisdiction. See, and then whatever this means. Residence alone is insufficient to establish domicile for jurisdictional purposes. Plaintiff is directed to show cause on or before September 22nd, 2025, Monday. They're giving Alexa until Monday. Why her complaint should not be dismissed without prejudice. For lack of subject matter jurisdiction, as she concedes that her complaint contains no viable claims arising under federal law, and her complaint fails to sufficiently allege diversity jurisdiction, ordered by magistrate, judge, whoever the hell that is, right? No, it's a lot of words, basically dumbing it down. So the judge is basically, from my take on this, is the judge is basically saying that this case can basically get thrown out because the plaintiff didn't properly prove that the court has the jurisdiction to even hear it in the first place. Crazy. Now, what's crazy to me is that Alexa is sharing this version of it, which shows only up until September 10th. However, everyone else is sharing the one that shows up to September 15th, where the court are basically saying, tell us why we shouldn't just dismiss this by Monday. So, since there's no federal law claim in this, the only way the case can stay is if the plaintiff obviously shows that the parties are from different states, diversity of citizenship, or the amount of money at stake is over $75,000 with the defamation of it all. Okay? So right now the plaintiff only said where she resides, California, and where the defendant resides, Kat obviously being in New York, but that's not enough. She has to show domicile, permanent home, not just residency. And the judge has given Alexa, when they phrased September 22nd, the judge has gave Alexa until Monday, literally only until Monday, to explain or fix it. Otherwise, the case will be dismissed. Obviously, Alexa can refile without prejudice. However, all this happened like a year ago now. So, you know, statute of limitation, like... So, that's crazy. That's crazy that no one is talking about this, mind you. It's literally here in front of us that she has until Monday to do this. And for someone who has not shut the fuck up about this damn lawsuit, I've not seen her mention this once. Maybe if she focused less on her fucking PR tour about this lawsuit and actually on the contents of it, the legal system wouldn't have been like, okay, you have until Monday to fix this fucking mess of a lawsuit. So, I guess we'll see what happens. I guess we'll all see what happens. But I really, really, really wanted to get to this video from Paige Christie. Not Alexa Nikolas lying on Adam McIntyre and Kat Tembarge. Paige Christie, compiled this really great video talking about Alexa and the hypocrisy, and also the fact that Paige Christie told me that she went in Alexa Nikolas's live chat a couple days ago and defended me because Alexa's chat were being homophobic towards me. Paige called it out, and Alexa goes crazy on the fact that Paige is in the live chat being like, Paige, you're defaming me, manically laughing, taking hits of her vape. And it's like, it's this echo chamber, and it's scary. And the fact that Alexa is now targeting and harassing Paige Christie is fucking psychotic. Fucking psychotic. How dare you? How dare you, woman? She's so stressed she needs some nicotine. How dare you? Demanding Paige apologizes to her, yeah. Saying Paige is defaming her. For what, existing? How dare you, Alexa? I was in her chat and everyone was being homophobic. Yes, of course they were. Alexa is the biggest hypocrite of all time. She has festered such a negative environment on YouTube, and she has the audacity to call anyone else it. So let's get to Paige's video. Again, this will be linked at the top of the description. It's important that you go and support this video. I waited a couple days. I shared Paige's video because I think it's important that you go and watch this from Paige's channel. I cannot keep reiterating that enough. The work Paige has done on this video is fucking amazing and insane, and really goes to show how much of a goddamn hypocrite Alexa Nikolas is. So, let's get to it. And keep in mind, I found out about this video when y'all found out about it as well. Alexa's so stupid that she fucking targets and comes for people and then doesn't realize that they'll actually speak up against her, like she did with Paige. So
you legit spread misinformation about me. Paige Christie, you legit spread misinformation about me. Are you going to apologize? It's really not that hard, right?
It must be so exhausting living in this world that she lives in. It must be so fucking exhausting. It must be so exhausting.
It's not difficult to apologize. Have you apologized to me yet? Do you have a disclaimer yet in your video? Paige, what are you doing in here? I'm not even talking about you. I should be, but I'm not fucking talking about you. Don't come around here and get attention. Because now, it's like, something's trending. I'm going to get myself into this. Please do not. Unless you're going to apologize to me for that video. And for your thing on X or whatever. Hello?
Sorry. She is actually fucking crazy and unhinged.
Apologize. It's really not that difficult, as you like to say. It's a non-issue. That's the whole point, Paige, that I'm trying to say is this whole thing that he's doing is not the issue at hand. all right? And this is my fucking channel. And I'm not spreading misinformation around here, so leave me the fuck alone. Okay? Power to survivors, by the way, Paige Christie.
Oh my god, she's fucking crazy!
He was calculating. He preyed on me and sexually abused me. He is a monster and a danger to children.
Fuck Drake Bell. There's Alexa going backstage. Great find, Paige. Great find, Paige.
Power to survivors, by the way, Paige Christie. Watch them.
Listen here, you dumb, raggedy bitch.
First of all, Paige looks tea as fuck. She looks tea as fuck.
Information. I don't spread lies. I just put your nonsense up in HD. You're calling it misinformation. I'm calling it direct quotes. Because see, something about you, Alexa, is that you like to revise history. You like to pretend that we don't have eyes. So don't be mad that I'm holding up a mirror when you're the one who's wearing the clown makeup. And truly, Miss Mama, you really didn't want it with me because I am the internet historian. If there's one thing that I keep track on, it is receipts. And what we're not going to do is this revisionist history. We're not going to pretend like we don't remember the past. Because at this point, bitch, the truth has a restraining order against you. I'm not misinformation, sweetie. I'm documentation. Hi, nice to meet ya.
Sorry, that intro. Eight.
Oh, yeah.
Hi guys, what is up? What is good? What is Gucci? It is your girl Paige Christie bringing yet another video. Honestly, I genuinely was not going to be covering this story. This was just a story that I was keeping my eye on, like I do with a lot of stories I've covered in the past. Something that I'm keeping my eye on just in case anything big develops. But at this moment in time, nothing huge has developed, like nothing that I can really sink my teeth into to make like a long form piece of content. But then this crazy bitch who seems to be on a one-person path to shadow boxing with logic decided that she wanted to come for me in a place where she felt powerful. And usually I don't engage in this kind of blood sports, but see, I don't actually argue with people who are in their 20s. I argue with people who are in their 30s. But before we get into today's video, the first thing is that I want to tell you is make sure that you turn off your Alexas, okay? I'm going to be saying this woman's name over and over again in today's video, and
No, Paige is a real one because I didn't warn you guys about that, and everyone was like, "Adam, this video is like so fucking hard to watch." Sorry, that was my fault. I should have warned you. I literally had to turn mine off.
Pretty sure everybody's Alexas are going to be popping off. So if you have an Amazon Alexa, turn it off before we continue. Also, I want to let you guys know that towards the end of the video, the camera starts stuttering quite a lot. This is due to my camera overheating. It just completely kaput on me altogether. So I apologize for that. So just be wary of that, especially if you have some kind of like flash sensitivity. My camera literally died on me on the very last sentence. So I am definitely not re-recording. So you'll just have to deal with it. But I appreciate you guys. Okay, bye. But first of all, we need to get into chapter 1. And that is the Kat Tembage lawsuit. Because in order to understand this story, we need to understand where we are right now.
This editing, girl.
I was not going to cover this story because, quite frankly, the story is old news. It is literally over a year old. And just like Kat Tembage said, you simply aren't relevant enough for a story. In fact, the last time that I actually mentioned you on my channel was in an hour and 30 odd minute video to do with Drake Bell and his case with him being the perpetrator of child-related crime.
I honestly just can't get over the fact that Alexa is like willing to die on the hill of Drake Bell. And then she has the audacity to scream at people, specifically someone like Paige, like power to survivors. How dare you?
And I mentioned you in said video for like literally less than 10 minutes. You weren't even relevant enough for me to even include you in more than 15% of the video's runtime. Yet you want to sit there on your platform and turn around and say that I defamed you? Defamed you how? By asking a question?
But again, this seems to be completely consistent with everyone that we're seeing cover Alexa, because 9 times out of 10, people are normal people and they are calling her out for her hypocrisy or her harassment or whatever the fuck else. And she's defended, or she's being defamed. She's being defamed. And that's just such an exhausting way to live. Like, just take a quick look at your comment section, Alexa.
So questions a defamation. No, I question your stupidity. Now, whilst I may not have the most positive feelings towards you, Alexa, I would say out of all of the videos of that time period back in 2024, I would go as far as to say that my video was probably one of the more gracious videos in terms of how it is that I portrayed you in my video. And I feel like I was very kind and very measured and respectful to you as a fellow survivor, a grace of which you did not give me. Powers to survivors. Isn't that right, Paige?
Power to survivors, by the way, Paige Christie.
But the one thing it is that I don't like about this situation is how history...
Also, you know what's so crazy? I was going through my Instagram and I was like, I wonder if me and Alexa have ever talked. We have. I need to show you this. So I screenshotted it somewhere, and I put it on my main story as well, and I tagged her and I was like, babe, how can we go back to this? How can we... Oh, wait, here it is. So Alexa messaged me in 2023 and said, hi, you inspire me to stand up even more than I already do. And I went, sending you so much fucking love. Thank you so much. Can you see that? Oh, I fucking hate the way this fucking Apple does this dumb shit with the fucking brightness. Oh my God. Why does Apple do that? That is so annoying. Anyone else gets so fucking annoyed by that? That was my sister. That was my sister. Alexa was my sister. All right. What screenshots do I have here? Oh, I can't show that one because she sends me her phone number. I can show you this one, though, because it doesn't have any of her information on it. She goes, hi, you inspire me to stand up even more than I already do. And I go, sending you so much love. Thank you. And then the next one, which I can't show because it has her phone number in it, she messages me and goes, let me just make sure that I'm not showing it. She messaged me and said, sending you so much love. Here's my email and cell if you ever want to talk or in LA to connect. Then she sent her phone number and her email. And then a couple months later at the end of the year, she just sent me heart emojis for some reason. And then I was like, thank you so much for everything. And she said, thank you, with crying emojis and heart emojis. That was my sister. That was my sister for real.
Is being revised. This is revisionist, and it is completely unfair to new viewers who have no idea how this new lawsuit, almost a year and a half later, has gained relevance. Yep. So let me remind you. Okay, so let me catch you up to speed. Alexa Nikolas has started a lawsuit with herself against Kat Tenbarge, claiming defamation, libel, and slander. In this 42-page lawsuit, which I have read at the detriment of my actual sanity, Alexa basically states that Kat Tenbarge has said some defamatory things toward her in private and public, and she believes that this is the entire reason why she has lost public favor and has a damaged reputation. In this lawsuit, Alexa accuses Kat Tenbarge of going beyond the line of duty by choosing to interview people who she actively has restraining orders against, who she calls her stalker. Initially, a legal letter was sent to NBC, who it was that Kat Tenbarge was working for. If you don't know who Kat Tenbarge is, she is a journalist on social media. She used to work for Business Insider, and then I think she moved over to NBC before becoming an independent journalist. There's kind of a question as to whether she got fired or whether she decided to leave of her own accord. We aren't sure, but the lawsuit...
Sorry, why the fuck do people keep bringing this up as if NBC didn't do a bunch of fucking layoffs? Ugh, pisses me off.
Definitely tries to indicate that she was fired due to her lack of journalistic integrity. However, when Alexa and her team at that point, who isn't the current team it is that she's working with right now, her legal team, sent a letter over to NBC about Kat Tenbarge's conduct, NBC basically responded by stating that Kat Tenbarge had done everything inside the parameters of her job role. Now, it is my personal belief that not being able to go after a multinational conglomerate company with the funding and legal team to back their journalists. So it's my conspiracy, allegedly, that they may have waited, and when I say they, the legal teams involved, may have waited until Kat Tenbarge wasn't under the NBC umbrella and had to fight any legalities in regards to her journalism on her own.
Which is so fucking scummy, by the way. Like, Alexa's such a scumbag for, like, playing the waiting game. However, as we're seeing here, it seems that only Alexa has responded so far, and the court is not happy with her lawsuit. So... she got that September 22nd deadline. Get to work, Alexa.
meaning that it would become a financial strain on her. Because as we know, when it comes to defamation lawsuits, they are frivolous, they can take a lot of time. You could end up going back and forth with defamation for years, has countless legal letters and a lot of money. As you guys know, I've said it plenty of times, I was in a defamation case that ended up getting dropped, and this situation only took place over 6 months, and I was £11,000 in the hole. But I say that to say that the legal back and forth can literally go on for years, and I was very lucky that my situation was merely a couple of months. Anyway, once news of this lawsuit had become public, Alexa then decided to do 2 live streams, I imagine going over the whole lawsuit between herself and Kat Tenbarge. Again, I don't give a crap, therefore I did not watch said live streams. I am, however, a fan and a viewer of Adam McIntyre. So the way that I found out about all of this was Adam McIntyre posting a video where he donned a suit titled Alexa Nikolas is suing and Ethan Klein is helping. Now, obviously, with this story being Ethan Klein adjacent, of course, I clicked on the video to see what was going on. And basically, there was an issue with a part of the legal letter. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I will correct myself on screen if I'm wrong. A couple of pages in, they mention Adam McIntyre. And in the legal letter, they noted that Adam McIntyre was given alcohol at 16 whilst in...
Sorry, you know what's so ridiculous about Alexa including this in the lawsuit is when Alexa got exposed for literally just getting it wrong, she was like, it doesn't even matter. Then why did you file it in the first place, Alexa? Why have you included things that are irrelevant to a defamation case against Kat Tenbarge? Is it because you've got a dumb lawsuit? Huh?
The United States of America, where the age of drinking over there is 21, and the person who gave him or facilitated that happening was Kat Tenbarge. This is unequivocally false. One, it's false because Adam McIntyre was not 16 at the time. This is publicly available information that should have been researched and definitely didn't get done, and ultimately just makes them look like they don't really know what they're talking about. And secondly, it's because there is no evidence to corroborate this information, and both parties have vehemently denied Kat ever facilitating Adam to go and get alcohol whilst he was in LA.
Alexa has filed a lawsuit against Kat, and in it
damn
says... Kat Tenbarge provided McIntyre alcohol when he was only 16 years old when McIntyre visited the United States. Okay, so just to confirm, I was not ever in America at 16 years old, right?
Your first time in America, you were 18.
18 years old. So factually, there is a lie in this lawsuit, okay? Let's take it a step further. I don't know if you remember because this was years ago. It wasn't Kat, but who was the person who gave me, and this is going to cause some problems, but, okay, this is going to cause some problems. Who was the person who gave me their fake ID so that I was able to drink underage in America?
Yeah, I remember this.
So Sloan. Okay, I'll talk to you later. I'm live if you want to join the comments.
Now, I knew this to be true because I heard...
Also, LOL, Sloan has been fucking blocking anyone that brings up his involvement in this. Alexa's little best friend got exposed. It's giving Tuxedo Cat.
From the horse's mouth. If you guys remember, back in 2023, I went on a group trip with Dustin Daly as well as Jan Gerard, back when we were friends. That was a time in the past. And we ended up hanging out with fellow commentators, Sloan Hooks, as well as Spill Sesh. And a lot of weird stuff took place on that trip that left me and Dustin, I remember, feeling extremely uncomfortable. Like, for all intents and purposes, I'm just not into that whole Hollywood shtick. Like, the you know, like, everybody's very, like, fake and nobody's, like, I feel like there's no real friends out there. Like, you always have to watch your back. Somebody's gonna stab you in the back. Everybody has, like, this, you know, like, feelings of grandeur about themselves and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know, I just feel like I'm a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit more down to earth. So when I went to LA, I said this to my mum, I always said that like LA was like extremely demonic. There was something demonic about LA. Like everybody just there was like this faux happiness in the air. I cannot express it. Even down to like the gay clubs. And like over here in the United Kingdom, I live in the gay clubs. I can't remember the last time I went to like a straight nightclub because I just don't do those things. But even like the gay clubs, like for Abbey, there was just like I can't explain it. And if you've ever been to LA and you know what I'm talking about, please let me know in the comments. But I didn't enjoy my experience.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm shallow AF. I love LA. Y'all saw me rolling around on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. I love LA.
And then I hung out with influencers, and it was very Hollywood type influencers. Definitely completely...
No, I hate hanging out with the people in LA. But you know what I love? Whenever me and my mom go to LA, we have a key.
Different to the experiences it is I had in Texas with other influencers who were a little bit more down to earth. That was
love Texas.
Anyway, to go back to the story, we all went for a dinner somewhere, and it was like a really fancy restaurant. And at the time, if I'm not mistaken, I think Dustin made a video where he was speaking about his experience and about Spill Sesh and Manny MUA and a threesome. You can definitely go and check that video out where he details some information that was said to us. But one thing that was said that I don't think that either me or Dustin had spoken about at the time was Sloan Hooks outwardly saying that, yeah, he was the one who gave Adam a fake ID.
And it pisses me the fuck off that Kat Tenbarge has had to take the fall all this time when Sloan fucking Hooks... really gotta hold myself back here whenever I talk about Sloan. Is parading around the LA scene, literally just admitting to all the things that he allows other people to take the fall for. Sloan is a fucking snake. Oh, God. Next time I'm in WeHo, I've got to duck for cover. He is going to jump me, probably. I literally see Sloan anytime I go to fucking LA, so heaven forbid, next time I'm in LA, I'm hiring security.
I remember being at the dinner table and Dustin was like, yeah, it's kind of sad that, like, this is my Dustin accent. Yeah, it's kind of sad that, like, you know, Kat took the fall for that. And then Sloan was basically like, yeah.
It's so crazy that, like, these conversations are happening and, like, I'm not even there. Like, this just further proves my point. Adam McIntyre vindicated again.
Well, I know, I feel really bad about it, but, you know, it's so long ago. And we moved on to other conversations. Now, let me make this clear. Back in 2023, I was not friends with Adam McIntyre. Back in 2023, Dustin Daly, I believe, was in beef with Adam McIntyre over some completely separate incidents.
True.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, Adam McIntyre and Nick Snyder were having an online beef. And as we know, Nick Snyder is a partner of Dustin Daly. So, de facto, if you're beefing with Nick, you're beefing with Dustin and vice versa.
True.
And that is no shade. That is 100% to be expected because they are each other's partners and you're supposed to support your spouse, your boo, your whatever. Like, if I don't like you, assume that Gareth don't like you either. It's as simple as that. Just for me to show you guys that there is absolutely no way that we would have had access to this information prior to hanging out with Sloan Hooks. Here is a tweet. It is that somebody I'm close to was able to find of Nick Snyder actually speaking to Adam McIntyre whilst they were mid-beef, dragging him for having alcohol underage, facilitated by who? Kat Tembage. So we were all under the impression that Kat Tembage had given Adam McIntyre...
Per Kat has had to take the fall so fucking much for this. Ooh, it makes me so fucking angry. Makes me so angry.
Alcohol, that was the word on the street, that was where the rumor mill was. So it wasn't until we hung out with Sloan that we found out, oh, that wasn't the case. Anyway, at the time when I came back, I did speak about it in a live stream, but I mean, this live stream was from back in 2023. I don't believe that's on my Twitch anymore. But those of you who have been a part of the Twitch family, which by the way, we're back on Twitch, a lot of you guys will remember me speaking about this and about how, you know, I felt like it was kind of unfair for this to have happened. And I do believe that us speaking about our experiences hanging out with these two individuals is why Sloan Hooks and Spill Sesh no longer speaks to me specifically. Like, I could send them a text tomorrow and I would be left on scene. However, this more recent video from Adam McIntyre, Alexa Nikolas is suing, and Ethan Klein is helping. This wasn't the first time that Adam McIntyre had been public about it being Sloan Hooks.
You know what's so funny? I literally said that Sloan was the one who did it in Alexa's live chat that she has included Kat's live chat comments from in the lawsuit. Is she that fucking dumb? Like, she can't even argue she didn't even see it or know it. Her BFF is the one oh my god. My voice is getting so high because I'm annoyed.
Who had given him ID whilst he was underage in LA. He actually said this in an Alexa Nikolas live stream back in 2024. And as you can see from this tweet over here...
Look, this is the live stream that Alexa is showing the Kat live comments from in the lawsuit. And as you can see, I wrote, "You're lying." I actually used Sloan's ID, and I used that for getting my own alcohol. In Alexa's fucking live stream, that is the live stream that Kat commented on, that those comments are in the lawsuit. Isn't that so funny? How fucking stupid Alexa is?
This is Dustin Daly's screenshot, and he was saying, "I'm so glad that you're speaking up because we've all known this for a hot minute." Showing again in my
again, people tweeting about it. Bare minimum research, Alexa.
humble opinion that we didn't know until Sloan directly fucking told us. Now, there is a lot of other messy drama that took place on that trip, and I'm sure at some point Dustin will tell you about it all because it was kind of crazy.
Tell us, tell us, tell us.
It was kind of crazy. I will leave that for him to tell because that's not my story. But what I will say is that I could at least corroborate that, yeah, that is how it was told to me directly from Sloan. So I know for a fact that this isn't a lie or Adam McIntyre throwing Sloan under the bus to save his friend. No, Kat had been thrown under a bus since 2021, and only now are people beginning to realize that the whole story was a complete sham. But that wasn't the only reason why Adam McIntyre had made this video. It wasn't just to set the record straight. It was also to show that Ethan Klein, by posting sections and excerpts of this lawsuit, was also engaging in redistributing defamatory information about Adam McIntyre and Kat Tembage.
Yes. And furthermore, you, on a bigger platform, have posted inaccurate, completely defamatory statements about me and Kat. Completely.
Now, whether that's done with malicious intent or not is a completely different conversation and up to personal judgment. But that was basically what Adam's video was about. And he also made sure to note that the lawyers that Alexa is now using is the same lawyers it is that Ethan Klein has for, you know, his Titty Fresh LLC or whatever it is. Leading many people online to believe that because Ethan Klein has an ongoing beef with Kat Tembage, that he's now financially helping Alexa Nikolas. I don't know how much of that I believe, but I'll leave you to make your own opinions.
Rom Bar-Nissim, aka Ethan Klein's lawyer, is my lawyer too. Been my lawyer for years. He's an ethical and incredible lawyer. The people he is naming as defendants in this lawsuit, an unrelated one, are IMO malicious trolls. The lawsuit is not worth with like.
We have Alexa admitting that her and Ethan Klein share the same lawyer, and Ethan Klein is redistributing and promoting this lawsuit.
The facts are clear and reported. Alexa Nikolas's lawsuit against Kat Tembage. Rom Bar-Nissim. Who is Ethan Klein's lawyer per Alexa herself? Rom Bar-Nissim. And Ethan Klein is actively posting, number one, Alexa's lawsuit, but number two, he is posting flat out, easily provable lies that are defamatory against me and Kat Tembarge.
Now, just to give you a brief backstory on why Kat Tembarge and Ethan Klein have some kind of beef going on, there was a whole situation where Kat Tembarge made an article where she was stating that Ethan Klein was a misogynist in her personal opinion. And this is me paraphrasing because honestly, I do not care to go back and look through all of that. And Ethan Klein took offense to it, and they've just had this ongoing back and forth ever since. There is a lot more twists and turns to that particular story, but I don't want to deviate from where we're going right now. I need you guys to follow me. Hopefully I'm making sense because this is not scripted. Anyway, a couple of days ago, I get a message from my researcher telling me that Alexa is live and to go ahead and watch it. Now, at this point, I am on my Steam Deck, right? I've been able to get The Sims 4 on my Steam Deck, and I'm very proud of myself, and now I just play Sims in the comfort of my bed, which is awesome. So I was playing The Sims and watching her on my phone in bed and just minding my business, trying my best to keep up to date with what is going on social media, which again is my job. That was until I glanced at the screen and I started noticing that there was homophobic comments that were being left by...
He fakes the gay voice. Has to be deeper. That's so funny. Her chat are being homophobic towards me. Also, 200 people watching. Flop. Chopped. Of course they're being homophobic. They were making fun about everything to me, but she doesn't give a fuck about that.
By moderators, yeah, anybody who didn't have anything overwhelmingly positive to say about Alexa Nikolas was having their comments deleted. So that meant that there was an active moderation team, but they were choosing to leave up homophobia as it pertains to Adam McIntyre. I did not respect that. So I decided to say in the comments, are we not going to delete this?
Also, it's crazy to me and makes me feel really sad that Paige is now dealing with harassment and bullying from Alexa Nikolas because Paige was like just wanting to defend me. You're the bully, though, Adam. Oh, yeah. Alexa says that I'm the bully. I forgot. She's a fucking hypocrite. She's a fucking hypocrite.
And that's when people noticed that I was in chat and started asking me a bunch of different questions. This back and forth with audience members lasted maybe, 5 minutes, with me responding to somebody else's comment stating, well, of course, Adam McIntyre would make a video only speaking about himself and not speaking for Kat Tembarge because the defamatory claim in this lawsuit was about him.
Me.
So essentially, Alexa Nikolas was upset that Adam McIntyre wasn't discussing the actual claims that were in the lawsuit and hyper-focusing on himself.
Which I have, by the way.
I had basically responded to another chatter stating that, yeah, of course he would. Like, why would he go and be Captain Save-A-Ho for Kat Tembarge in this lawsuit? Unfortunately.
Also, that's such a valid point from Paige. Like, Alexa keeps reiterating that, like, I'm guilty of something because I won't respond or address the lawsuit, which isn't about me. But I was responding to Alexa's live streams and comments about me, and she was like, you're making this all about yourself. No, I'm actively responding to what you're saying about me. Alexa, do you know how lawsuits work? Well, clearly not, because the court are giving you until Monday to fix your fucking problems in the lawsuit. Lol.
This is a lawsuit that pertains to just her, and he could potentially say something that would not be so great and could potentially hinder anything it is that Kat has going on. So he strictly spoke about himself.
Also,
like, that's not a wild concept.
I'm so glad Paige is making this point because it's like I was starting to get to a stage where I was like, oh my god, like people online must be fucking annoying or must be fucking stupid. Where people were like, he's refusing to address the lawsuit, like blah 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 blah. And you guys need to realize that like I'm not being sued, like I said. But also, when you're actively being sued, anything you say can be used in the lawsuit. So why would I comment on a lawsuit that's about Kat, where I could say something that could then be used for or against Kat? Like, you two sort it out between yourselves.
Point a chatter whose name was Lonely basically told me to get out of the chat because I was annoying or whatever. And to be honest, I was bored by the chat because she just kept rehashing the same thing over and over again.
Of course, because she has nothing. She has nothing.
Every time Adam McIntyre would say, hey, this is wrong, what you said about me, she would be like, but no you. And it was just like the same thing over and over again. Sure. So I left the chat.
Sloan is Alexa Nikolas' good friend. Alexa Nikolas is the one who filed this...
Kat Tembarge is your real good friend who spread misinformation about a survivor?
What the fuck is wrong with her? She can't even address any of my points. This lady crazy as hell. She literally has a photo of Sloan on the thing. It's like...
Kat Tembarge is your real good friend, and that's what this lawsuit's about.
So I go ahead, stop.
What the fuck?
Minding my own business, playing Sims again, watching other videos on YouTube, and that's when my Discord started popping off, with numerous people stating that Alexa was dragging me on stream. Now, I was not present for this, and I missed it, so I tried my best to go back and find it, but I couldn't find it. I had my researcher looking for it, I had another one of my audience members looking for it. It was just kind of like a moment. But once we did eventually find the clip, I screen recorded it, and I responded online. Anyway, this is what Alexa Nikolas had to say.
Wait, is Paige in here? Because it directly pertains to him.
Look how happy she gets when another content creator's in the chat.
To figure out why he would have a vested interest in topics about himself. Paige Christie, you legit spread misinformation about me.
Oh, this must be so exhausting to live in this perpetual victim state. My God, woman, pick yourself off the fucking floor.
Are you gonna apologize? It's really not that hard, right? What did you say here? Vested interest in topics about himself. Okay, it's not difficult to apologize. Have you apologized to me yet? Do you? Have you? Did you put in, do you have a disclaimer yet in your video?
Whoa, she is crazy.
Paige, what are you doing in here? I'm not even talking about you. I should.
Keep in mind, this was because Paige was defending me that Alexa was allowing her chat to be homophobic towards me.
Be, but I'm not fucking talking about you. Don't come around here and get attention. Because now it's like, something's trending. I'm going to get myself into this. Please do not.
Something's trending. Girl, your live stream had fucking 200 viewers.
Unless you're going to apologize to me for that video and for your thing on X or whatever. Hello, apologize. It's really...
Oh my god, she's crazy. She's fucking crazy. Hello, Paige. Hello. Woman.
Not that difficult, as you like to say. Difficult. Is a non-issue. That's the whole point, Paige, that I'm trying to say is this whole thing that he's doing is not the issue at hand. All right? And this is my fucking channel. And I'm not spreading misinformation around here, so leave me the fuck alone. Okay? Jesus. Power to survivors, by the way, Paige Christie. Watch them. Watch me go!
Honestly, she's manic. She's honestly manic as fuck.
Bye, Chrissy!
Now, to begin with, I was extremely confused because I don't believe I've ever made a video about Alexa. So I knew that she must have been referring to my Drake Bell video from like a year and a half ago. So I went to my Drake Bell video, scrubbed through to the part where I speak about her, which was literally like the...
Yeah, apologize or glaze Alexa or you have to leave her chat. Wow, it seems like she got a great community over there, doesn't she?
The last 10 minutes of the video or something. Because again, my Drake Bell video was strictly pertaining to Drake Bell's case and she was just kind of like an annex of that. So in looking for the misinformation, the only thing I could think of, because she directly references a tweet it is that I made, was one where I asked her questions on where she got additional information pertaining to the Drake Bell case from. I never stated that she did anything illegal. I merely asked the question.
But Paige, like we're seeing with what she's saying about Kat, to be questioned is to be the biggest crime that you can do to Alexa, to question her. How dare you not lick her fucking, like, you know what I mean? What do they call it? Lick your arse or whatever the fuck. Like, just like glazing everything.
Question as to where the additional information came from. A question of which she never directly answered to me. So the idea that asking a question is defamatory just absolutely blew my mind. Because if that's where the bar is for defamation, the bar is in the pits of hell. So if you wanted to see what it is that I actually said about Alexa in this whole situation here, take a look. This is a video from like a year and a half ago.
So I responded to that tweet and I said, the court documents are sealed. That's why the allegations that people are making that the minor lied about her age and was found to be lying are completely unfounded. The same lies that your audience is purporting against the victim. And we can say that as fact as he pled guilty to those crimes against minors. So my question is, if you have access to the sealed court documents, do you have consent from the victim to share them? Because we are talking about crimes against minors here. I'm also interested in what you have to say about silencing the voice of a victim as you accuse Christy Carson Romano of doing when she deleted your episode from her podcast. But I'm not holding my breath. I think that you are hoping that enough time will pass that you won't ever have to address it. But don't worry, we will keep reminding.
But you're probably wondering to yourself, why is any of this important? And quite frankly, I would ask myself the exact same fucking question. One of Alexa's biggest...
Again, I just can't believe that was what... has her like screaming at Paige to apologize for. I honestly, I can't fathom it. Oh my God, guys, someone texted me and was like, who was here when we were just watching the Ned Fulmer podcast? Who was watching it? Like when we were doing it an hour ago. Someone just messaged me and was like, Adam, I think that Colleen is going to be a guest on his show. Wait, why can I low-key see that? I can, like, low-key see that. This person is literally just speculating, but why can I low-key see that? Because it's about rock bottom, like people at rock bottom. That'll be a fucking show and a half.
Gripes with Kat Tembage is that she believes that Kat Tembage and the things it is that she stated about sealed documents and being a recipient of sealed documents that were not redacted in any capacity was Kat Tembage defaming Alexa. Now, I'm not here to go over the semantics of who's right and who's wrong, because quite frankly, I truly do not know. Hence why I ask a question. Okay, we ask questions rather than assume.
But Paige, to question Alexa is a crime.
Assuming things of people. However, Alexa believes because of these claims that Kat had made publicly on a public forum such as Twitter, that Kat had defamed her and ruined her reputation. And my only thing is, and this is something that I feel is a fair assessment for anybody who remembers that time period, I don't think it being a closed or open case was the biggest issue it is that people had with Alexa Nikolas. It wasn't my biggest issue with her. My biggest issue with Nikolas, Alexa Nikolas, is that she got pally with Drake. Yes. After her making a live stream defending Drake's victim.
Yes.
So let me...
And that was what Paige's video was about. That's what my video was about. And I saw a tweet and I thought it was good. And it was like, it was kind of like a cat hate tweet. And it was like, at the end of the day, who gives a fuck about Kat Tambarge's journalism? And I was like, okay, that's a hate tweet. But like, it proves a point. Alexa had tarnished her reputation by befriending someone that she had called out for doing these kind of things.
Give you a
but eat predators, right?
brief TLDR as to what took place, and you tell me at what point Kat even factors into her damaged reputation. Because I would go as far as to say that Alexa's damaged reputation had happened long before Kat had even uttered a sentence. So back on the 12th of July 2021, Jared Drake Bell, who was 34 years old at the time, who's an actor who is best known for his leading role in the 2000s Nickelodeon series and sitcom Drake and Josh. He was charged that day with a felony in Ohio over an alleged inappropriate relationship with a teenage girl. According to the Cuyahoga, I think that's how you say it, County Prosecutor's Office, the teen was then 15 years old at the time of the alleged December 2017 incident. She filed a report with her local police department in Canada in October 2018. Canadian authorities then went on to contact the Cleveland division of the police, who conducted the subsequent investigation. That investigation revealed that the victim, who had established a relationship with Bell several years prior, attended his concert in December 2017. While there, Bell violated his duty of care and in doing so created a risk of harm for the victim. The investigation also revealed that months leading up to the concert, Bell had sent the victim inappropriate social media messages. And that statement came directly from the prosecutor's office spokesperson, Tyler Sinclair, in an email to Law and Crime. Now, in this whole situation, Drake ended up catching 2 cases, one of them being a felony. The first one he was charged with was the attempted endangering of children, which is a felony, and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, which is a misdemeanor. Now, this is not the only claims that were against Drake Bell. These were the only ones that went to court and actually got a judicial answer. But there was also ex-girlfriends who stated that he was domestically violent with him, etc., etc. It's all detailed in my Drake Bell video. If you would like to go over it, definitely go ahead and check out that video. So around this time period when all of this is going viral, and the court hearing with...
Literally. I mean, it's so beyond words. Drake Bell is a fucking... Ooh.
The victim's testimony included was posted onto Law and Crime. Around this time period, Alexa Nikolas decided to do a live stream in which she just straight up condemned Drake because she felt it was disgusting what he did. She heard the quivers, the tremble in the voice of the young girl at this point who was now 19 years old at the time of the hearing. She promptly took the side of believing the victim and even went as far...
Because prior to survivors, right, Alexa?
...as to condemn Drake for physicalities such as smiling and smirking during the hearing.
When I was 15,
Now, one of the most impressive things about this video is that Paige has found, because Alexa has wiped this from the internet, Alexa calling Drake Bell out.
I noticed a huge shift.
He's laughing, looking at her like you have.
And you know what's really sad about her? That's why her reputation is fucked. Because she ultimately did this to herself and she was exposed for not believing in it. You know what's sad? What she was on the trajectory of doing was really important.
He has no idea what she's talking about. This is ridiculous. Dude, NBC News is literally saying, not even alleged here, Drake Bell victim, Drake Bell, gives emotional court statement. Emotional. This is horrific to hear a child talking like this, that this happened to her. And you're literally smirking, acting like you have no idea what she's talking about. Dude, shame on you, man. Alleged, whatever. This is my opinion. Like, shame on you, dude. Emotional court statement. And the only person who's not fucking emotional is the person who pleaded guilty. I'm going to say it one more time with the entire screen for Drake Bell. Emotional statement. Court statement. And the only person who's not emotional is the person who pleaded guilty.
Crazy, right, Alexa? Do you think that had anything to do with your plummeting reputation? That you walked back on what you just said there? That you went to his concert after this? You deleted the video after this? You went backstage with him after this? This have anything to do with your reputational damage, Alexa? Or no, heaven forbid. Kat Tambarge!
Instead, that person is smirking. Smirking.
Yeah, it's crazy, Alexa.
Then in 2024, we find out that Quiet on Set is going to be released on Hulu. And we saw that Drake Bell was going to be one of the people who were interviewed speaking about the abuse it is that he suffered under the supervision of Nickelodeon. Now, Alexa had pretty much made it known on social media that she was going to be involved in the documentary as well, which obviously didn't come as a surprise to anyone, considering she has the Eat Predators Collective, which is a collective that is there to protect women, to protect minors and children within the entertainment industry and outside, just protecting victims in general. But upon finding out the information that Alexa was going to be in the documentary, people had noticed that Alexa had deleted her previous video to do with Drake Bell.
And again, ultimately, I just think it's so important to keep hammering in that point. How disappointing it was that Alexa was, you know, going to protests and doing all of it and doing these live streams, calling out these predators and these people in Hollywood. And then the chance of being involved at the Quiet on Set documentary, which yes, was a huge moment for her career, boosted her. But she made the mistake of taking down the Drake Bell stuff we just watched, and shout out Paige for finding it, walking back on it, and befriending him, ? I think that's why the reputation's gone.
In which she condemns him quite heavily. And people stated on social media that they had seen that Alexa was liking a lot of Drake Bell's posts on Instagram and stuff like that. So a lot of people were very confused on how her stance kind of swiftly changed, because we knew Drake as the perpetrator of, you know, crimes against children.
And we knew it because Alexa was also platforming it.
He was in fact charged with a felony in regards to crimes against children. Responding to the backlash it is that she was receiving, because a lot of people felt as if she was going back on her word, she decided to post online that she was going to be looking through a series of documents and new information that she had just received, and that she would be explaining why her stance had changed to some degree on a podcast or a video on her channel, and asked her fans to be patient. Now, many fans saw this to be a very suspicious turn of events, and many people began to ask Alexa, how do you even have access to such information? Was it Drake that gave you that information? Which is a logical conclusion for many people to have come, considering how quickly her stance had changed, and now her going forth.
Also, a very, very, very realistic question for people to ask when your stance has changed so quickly and you're now involved in a documentary that he's involved with, and for you to blow it out of proportion. How dare people even question or think that you had any involvement further than that? That's just normal, considering how passionate you were about, you know, supporting his victim, and then poof, gone.
Allegedly liking loads of Drake's posts. Many people believe the court case to have been sealed. So Alexa having access to things such as interviews and interrogations, which is something that she said that she had access to, led people to believe that she was going beyond the scope of what it is that she is allowed or supposed to share, whether that's in the legal sense or the moral sense. Because again, we have to remember this was a crime, an alleged crime that took place against a minor. Now, at this point, Kat Tembage was working for NBC, and she'd already done an article as it pertains to Drake Bell and the Quiet on Set documentary, etc. And it looked as if Kat Tembage was attempting to do like a part 2 to a very successful story, and wanted to include Alexa in it and ask Alexa the holy grail of 18 different questions. Now, this is where we get into this weird zone of he said, she said. Now, Kat Tembage states that the documents it is that she received potentially didn't have enough redactions in them, leading her to question how she got this information without a freedom of information request, which can take months and months to actually be delivered. But what's important to note is, in this story, NBC actually told Kat to drop the article. And according to Kat, they stated that Alexa simply just wasn't relevant enough for a story of this nature. So it's giving to me that Kat just didn't sell it enough to the publication. Shortly after this, Alexa goes on to X and tells everybody about this journalist who didn't have any journalistic integrity.
Important to note that Alexa started this by harassing Kat, in my opinion, as well. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that fucking crazy? Well, that never gets brought up.
Again, I'm paraphrasing here. And this is where we have Kat Tembage arguing that the court documents were sealed, and then the back and forth happens on social media. Now, this moment of the back and forth happening between Alexa and Kat Tembage is the moment that Alexa is saying has completely tarnished her career. That a lot more people had more favorable feelings towards Kat Tembage than they did to Alexa Nikolas. I am here to say that I do not believe a lick of that to be true in any capacity. Quite frankly, if I post Kat Tembage's name on social media, there are 50 billion people who will turn around and say that she is a terrible journalist, she is not to be trusted, this, that, and the third. I don't think that Kat Tembage has the best social media rapport when it comes to her reputation, especially during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, because a lot of people disagreed fundamentally with Kat Tembage's stance on that. She was very pro-Amber. So there are a lot of people who don't respect Kat Tembage as a journalist. And with peace and love, whether this article was going to be released or not is neither here nor there. Like, neither of them are relevant enough. And let me just be honest, the girlies, we aren't reading. Like, nobody's sitting there going, yes, Kat, like, love Kat, whatever, girl, do your thing. But with peace and love, nobody's turning around going, yes, I can't wait to read this Kat Tembage article. Oh, we're watching videos.
I am. I'm finna be in the pit.
Watching content creators talk about things. We're watching commentators. We're watching commentary videos. We're watching video essays.
But she's making a great point here. Paige is making a great point, which is like, how can Alexa preach that Kat was the reason for her reputation damage whenever it kind of points that Alexa was the reason for her own one? No shade, girl. No shade.
We are consuming our media visually. Very rare are people actually sitting down to read articles like that. Not our generation. So why she's putting so much importance on an article like this is crazy. Especially an article that never fucking got released. Realistically, she could have never spoken about this ever and never have got a response from Kat Tembage, and this whole defamation suit would literally not exist.
Oh, this is when Paige said her camera started, like, overheating. I love it.
But again, realistically, the reason that her reputation is damaged is not because of this article that never released. It is literally...
Yeah, that's crazy. The article that never came out. Alexa was the one that started fucking manically tweeting about
because
Kat.
of the way that she behaved after Quiet on Set. So I went to go and have a look to see what people were saying online on forums like Reddit and stuff like that from around the time, because I'm like, am I misremembering this? Because I don't think anyone gave a fuck about Kat Tempage. I don't believe that anything it is that I had in terms of my thoughts and my feelings about Alexa had anything to do with Kat Tempage. And lo and behold, the internet is forever, so this is what people are saying on Reddit. Somebody said, wow, I used to love Alexa and appreciate the safe spaces that she created. Her behavior in the last few weeks/months is making me really dislike her. The whole goal is empowering survivors. And then she just sits there and says, I got bullied, so I'm not making another video on Drake Bell. How does she not see that...
It's actually really interesting that Paige is, showing posts from social media at that time that are actually saying that they're upset with Alexa or they don't like Alexa anymore because of her own doing, by the way. You can't just hide behind people and blame others for your downfall when you were doing it to yourself and you were hypocritical and you were going against your own messaging.
Moving her video right after Quiet on Set came out, how that looked to survivors who have supported her for so long. Oh yeah, because that's the other thing, is she stated that she was going to be coming back and talking about everything she said in the tweet. The tweet said, for those asking about my private video, I now have every single report, all documents pertaining to the case. I will be going over each one of them over the next few weeks, and I'll be going to revisit it via streaming. I'm choosing to read diligently before I break it down. These are hundreds of documents from the Cleveland police and court, not from a person. These are witness transcripts, submitted evidence, etc. I need time to read it all. Obviously, I support all survivors. So she already said to everybody that she was going to be detailing everything and why her stance had changed. With the newfound information, it is that she has. However, she decided not to. She made a video addressing the Drake Bell video situation where she basically said that everyone's bullying me, and because of that, I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Took it down because I didn't like that article that I was reading from, and I wanted to make another video. I did. That's more factual and really says how I feel. And then I was getting harassed from it, and now I don't really feel up to it, okay? As a survivor,
Isn't that...
I don't feel up to it.
Also, she hides behind as a survivor. But it is really crazy that she made this entire thing. I'm going to address all this. I'm going to address all this. And then on the video when she was supposed to address it, she goes, actually, I'm not going to address it because you guys are harassing me.
To it. But to have people tell me what I think about it or how I feel about it, you don't know me. I didn't like that. And I wanted to make a video from a factual space where I wasn't being told what something was. I wanted to know what it was and eat a predator. But then I'm the problem. Got harassed weeks on end. So I'm not going to make one. And I don't owe anyone anything.
Isn't it crazy she's been victimizing herself now for a year and a half?
As a survivor, we don't owe anyone anything.
Meaning that victims.
As a survivor, we don't owe anyone anything. Okay.
Who had supported Alexa and watched her through the years, supported, amplified the voices of victims, saw her swiftly change when under the spotlight of the Drake Bell situation and befriended him. That's why people have a bad perception of Alexa. They have a bad perception of Alexa because of the actions it is that she did. She never gave anybody a reason and said, True. I'm a victim, I'm the victim of abuse, therefore I cannot be criticized, therefore...
It's a great point. Hiding behind it makes it seem very inauthentic and like you're using it.
I feel like I'm getting bullied. I'm feeling very attacked right now.
I feel very attacked.
Relax.
And I'm not going to say anything further. I'm going to let you think what you want to do with Drake Bell. Well, then guess what? That leads to the public thinking what they want to think.
Good point. If Alexa's going to say that she's just going to allow it to be what it is, then the people are allowed to have an opinion of that. And just because you are saying I'm a survivor does not mean that means that people cannot comment about the decisions that you decide to make.
Think about you and the Drake Bell situation. Just to continue, they turn around and they say, how do you think that survivors felt when she did that and didn't make a new video clarifying her stance / support for her victims? She's leaving it alone because some people were bullying her. She can't handle a little bit of justified backlash when it appeared that she was enabling an abuser. She can't understand how that made her community feel, so she's going to cop out. Wow. Another person turned around and said, my initial takeaway from this is her saying that survivors don't owe you anything about taking down the video struck me in an odd way. Mostly because I think the only survivors not needing to explain themselves will only further encourage people to use that term as a shield. But also, I straight up disagree. If you're running a survivors activism movement, you do owe your followers an explanation for
True.
taking down a video about someone pleading guilty to sexting a teenage girl. Somebody else said, I think it's a little ironic for her to take this stance when her community is just asking for clarity and accountability. Also, a lot of screenshots from Drake's own Discord are showing that he encouraged the harassment of his accusers and has been effectively changing the narrative so that he could get away with abuse. True. Okay, so let me bring this back. Apparently, Drake had a Discord. This is all alleged, but I have seen certain screenshots. Apparently, Drake had a Discord, and in this Discord, he would speak directly with his fans, his very close-knit fan base, and he would talk about the allegations against him, the domestic abuse claims from his ex-girlfriend, etc., etc. And he actually allegedly spoke about Alexa Nikolas. This is what he
just want to clarify that I've not seen anything from his Discord.
had to say. Every man that Alexa has come into contact with has abused her. Ha 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 ha. I love how she was like cocky and rude because he didn't spend time with us on set of Zoe. But if I had, it would have been, ew, he's creeping on us when we were younger than him. She plays every single angle to get sympathy. Notice how her not getting attention from me made me cocky and rude. Like, it's, dude, why would I spend time with these little annoying girls when my band was there that day? We were only there for the 2 scenes we did. We were there for like 3 hours. Ha ha ha. If you don't pay attention to her, you're rude and cocky. But if you do, you abuse her. She's a total joke. Now, these were only the things it is that Drake allegedly said pertaining to Alexa.
Now, I had never seen anything from Drake Bell's Discord, nor do we know if they're true or whatever, but that is a crazy thing. That is a crazy thing to have been said about Alexa, allegedly.
These aren't even the things it is that Drake said about the other alleged victims of him. And what made this situation even worse for many people is the whole Christy Romano situation. I spoke about it in my previous video. I will let that run because I'm not going to rehash it today because clearly I'm heated right now. So clearly I'm already too heated. But I will post this right now for you guys.
And so is the camera.
See? So you guys will understand the flagrant hypocrisy. It is that a lot of people were seeing in Alexa and now she's saying, well, I'm not talking about it. I don't have to justify anything to you. When you literally built your brand off the back of survivors, and don't even get me started on the Eat Predator Sickalodium merch it is that you made.
Also, this was something that I had called Alexa out for. So I'd called Alexa out for the Drake Bell thing and also the fact that she had made merchandise that was Sickalodian and she's profiting off of the Quiet on Set movement and stuff like this. And she was like, yeah, of course. And she was defending it and we were fighting back and forth and stuff like that. That is so wrong. If you're saying you don't owe survivors anything, you're making money off of survivors. You do owe them something. You're not just fucking exempt because you deem you're exempt.
But you turned around and said, yes, but I'm a victim too. Yes, but there are countless victims of the enterprise of fucking Nickelodeon. Countless victims. You aren't the only victim. So you should be the only person who profits.
Yes.
But again, if it doesn't serve Alexa, it doesn't even matter. But take a look at the whole Christy versus Alexa situation where Alexa had the nuance to be able to understand that Corey Fieldman, whilst he may have been a victim as a child of Hollywood, could also be the perpetrator of a crime against other minors. But apparently that does not stand when it comes to Jared Drake Bell.
If you don't know who Christy Carson Romano is, she is the girl, sister in Even Stevens, who is the supporting actress next to Shia LaBeouf. She has a podcast in which she speaks to various different people, especially people who are in the entertainment industry. Alexa did have an episode where she spoke about, her own experiences, Eat Predators, and all of that kind of good stuff. However, a couple of weeks later, Christy also hosted another person called Corey Fieldman. Now, if you don't know who Corey Fieldman is also another child actor who was in the movie Stand By Me, if I'm not mistaken, and he was pretty much a very well-known child star in the 80s. He has had numerous allegations and has been screaming from the rooftops for years about all of the sexual assault it was that he faced as a minor at the hands of huge executives in Hollywood. He has wrote books about it, he has done documentaries about it, he has done press tours about it, the guy has been talking about it non-stop. So it's unsurprising that he would be on a podcast talking about, again, the sexual assault and the allegations it is he has against numerous different high-level, top-end people within Hollywood. Now, the problem with this is that Corey Feldman himself, he has his own allegations. There are people who have made allegations against him for sexual assault and abuse and all of those kind of things. So Alexa and Christy ended up getting into some social media beef, I guess, because Alexa felt as if it was wrong of Christy to platform this person, even though they were a victim who perpetrated crimes or is alleged to have perpetrated crimes against other individuals. She felt that simply platforming him was wrong.
It's all about context and what she stands for when she's not.
Wait, this is very ironic.
When she's not making money, who is she? How is she showing up in the world? Does she care when it's not trending? No. I'm sad to say, in my own personal opinion today, she sadly proved to me she preferred to make money off of an alleged predator. And so, listen, if I am...
The irony is not lost.
Here on YouTube, obviously on a show that's called Eat Predators, and I am making some dollars doing this work, I better be the same person when I'm not streaming. Otherwise, I personally cannot sleep. I don't...
Ironic. The irony is not lost. The call is coming from inside the house. Yeah.
Want to be that kind of person. I want to use my platform for good.
Now, because Alexa had the backing of her Eat Predators fam, a lot of people started flocking over to Christy and basically saying, how dare you, this is so terrible, why would you platform a predator, yada, yada, yada. So Christy, in order to stop all of the beef, I'm guessing the worst decision that she could have made, quite frankly, decided to delete Alexa's episode from her podcast. Alexa ended up taking the situation extremely seriously and personally because she felt as if her story as a victim of SA was now being silenced, that the voice of a victim has been silenced due to Christy removing her video.
The parallels are not lost on me. The parallels are not lost on me in her deleting the one about Drake Bell's victim. Not lost on me at all.
And a lot of people are beginning to bring up that there is a huge similarity in this situation. That the moment that Drake is kind of getting some good press, all of a sudden we're removing the voice of the victim in order to amplify the other one. So it seems as if the same thing it is that she was accusing Christy Carson Romano of doing is exactly the same thing that she's doing right now by hiding this video.
And then, just...
Wow. It was almost hard to think that that was an old video from Paige because her videos are just aging really well.
Over a year ago, as if it couldn't be an even bigger kick in the face to leave your audience with absolutely no response after telling them that you were going to go over these documents and say why your stance had changed. From the documents you state were not obtained in any...
From this to being besties with Pedo Troll. Also important
nefarious
to know.
way. You suddenly decide to stay stern because you...
And hiring Andrew Brettler and then Ethan's new lawyer, Ram Bar Nissim, as, you know, you're legal. Just very hypocritical.
More a victim, and you're being bullied when people simply want accountability from you. Literally just over a year ago, as if it couldn't be the biggest slap in the face in the whole entire world, fans saw Drake Bell do a concert in Venice Beach, and who decided to go backstage during the crowd's applause for an encore alongside Drake Bell? No other than Nikolas.
There he goes backstage. There's Alexa.
Now this goes beyond the perils of, oh my God, you know.
What a slap in the face to survivors.
Maybe it wasn't all what I thought it was. The more I look into more information, the more my mind is changing. I'm going to take down that video because I do believe my video in the past was defamatory. But like now, you know, I don't want to talk about it right now. It goes beyond that. This is active support. You are now actively, not just did you share a space on a documentary, which could have been a situation completely outside of your control. You now are actively
going to
him.
his concert and backstage.
Not only going to his fucking shows.
From eat predators to eating with
but
predators.
Also going backstage with him.
That's good.
And I'm looking at the comments of this video from a fan. And people are saying, is that Alexis Nikolas? And they're saying, yeah, it is. I'm so happy they were able to patch things up. Even Drake Bell fans believe that you guys have patched things up. And you know what? To everybody who has ever donated, to everybody who has ever supported.
Alexa, maybe that's why the reputation was damaged.
To everybody who has ever had any positive feelings towards Eat Predators, the collective, and creating a safe space for victims to share their voices and be heard, they deserve an answer to that. And you won't. You won't, because you know for a damn fact that there is nothing that you can say or do that would not make you a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So what do? We focus on Kat. Kat's the reason that my career changed. Kat's the reason that my trajectory changed. Kat's the reason.
This video just lays it out so perfectly. It's Kat. It's Adam. It's Paige. It's just completely distraction. It's distraction. It's distraction for the fact that she ruined her own career.
Reason that nobody respected me. Kat's the reason that people believe lies about me. Kat defamed me. Girl, your reputation was ruined long before Kat was in the picture. Your reputation was ruined long before Kat sat down with NBC and they said that you were irrelevant. Your whole shtick and the jig was up. Yeah. Nobody was supporting somebody who could not have the nuance to understand that the victim of CSA could also be the perpetrator. But you had that knowledge, you had that understanding, you had that foresight when it came to Corey Feldman, but just not Drake. Is it because Corey Feldman can't really benefit you in any particular way? Is it because Drake still has friends in high places? You can sit there and read these alleged messages from Discord of him saying that you are the perpetual victim and that he doesn't know, he's treating you like some crazy fucking fan. But it doesn't matter. I got to spend time with Drake backstage and we braided each other's hair. But I know that likely if Alexa was to respond to this, which I don't believe she will, and honestly, it will be a benefit if she doesn't, because quite frankly, I'm at here with you, because in the same video...
She did, and we'll get to that soon.
That you're sitting there saying that I defamed you, where I was actually extremely gracious to you, in comparison to a lot of people who were dragging you. Ophie Dokie was dragging you from here to Timbuk2, okay? I was a lot nicer than Ophie was. But in that same video, I sat down and I spoke to my audience about being in a similar situation. Being a person who has had to speak up against the sexual assault it is that I faced by a huge person in the United Kingdom and being a part of a BBC documentary to do with that. To put a face to the claims of abuse against young black women perpetrated by Tim Westwood. I put myself on the line in the same way that you did, and I understand how hard it is to do. But the point is, if you are watching this and you're a victim of CSA and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I'm going to come forward with my story, I don't have enough evidence, is anyone going to believe me? Evidence grows in the number of voices that have the same allegations towards the situation. Now, you guys might not be aware of this, but some time ago, I'm going to say about a year and a half ago, I was in a BBC documentary in regards to some CSA it was that I experienced at the hands of Tim Westwood, who is a huge radio DJ over here in the United Kingdom. Now, at the time when allegations were swirling around about Tim Westwood, there was only a few voices. And then there was more black women who were coming forward telling their story. And then there was more, and there was more, and then there was more. And then I finally found the energy to say, no, I'm going to put a face to this and show what the victims of Tim Westwood look like. You know what I mean? And I sat down and I spoke with the BBC and told my story. Now, whilst at this very moment in time, Tim Westwood has not been criminally convicted on the crimes it is that he is alleged to have done by numerous other people, including myself, the point is that now that there are so many voices, people believe the victims. Because we all can't be coming from all these various parts in the world, having the exact same story, the exact same experiences, the exact same recollections of this one human being. So there's volume in numbers. So I understand how hard it is to put yourself forward to advocate in the face of a industry that literally predates against children. I understand. Fully. And for you to sit there on your platform and not only give me the same amount of grace it is that I gave you, you bitch ass, but also to sit there and say power to survivors and laugh in my fucking face. Fuck you, Alexa Nikolas. Fuck you, fuck everything you stand for, and fuck the Eat Predators collective. And I hope as God is my witness that thing burns down to the goddamn ground. I hope that collective is no more, because you do not give one fucking iota shit about a single fucking victim. Because if you did, you would have heard the voice of that young lady in the same way that I did. where she called Drake a monster for the things it is that he did.
He was calculating. He preyed on me and sexually abused me. He is a monster and a danger to children. I am kindly asking you to send a powerful message that these crimes are never okay, no matter who a person is.
And even if we can't say that he concrete sexually assaulted her because, the results and the tests were inconclusive because it was, her allegations were digital penetration, right? Even if we cannot 100% concrete say that fact, what we can say is that he caused a felony charge in a crime against children. Being a predator doesn't necessarily mean being sexual. You can be a predator and not be sexual at all. It's about exposing minors to material that is much more harmful than their eyes are supposed to see. It's about desensitizing them to sexually explicit material. It's about those inappropriate behaviors that can lead to a much bigger
this video is
crime.
incredible.
And if we are going to stop predators, we need to stop them at the motherfucking source. And what I don't like is how we are now revising history, how we are now trying to deviate and change attention to a journalist that, quite frankly, not a lot of fucking people like. Let's keep it a buck and keep it a bean. And not a lot of people even freaking respect. But because of the decisions it is that you made around the time of Quiet on Set, the decisions it is that you made around your stance on Drake, how you switched and you flipped and you changed on a 15-year-old girl who had the courage to come forward and tell her story. And you don't even give the audience the grace to share what you know. Because if it's the documents it is that you posted online, bitch, ain't nothing to change my stance there. So what moved you? What moved and shook?
This is such a great point from Paige, which is her being like, if these are the documents that you have that so desperately change your opinion of Drake Bell that you're willing to go from exposing and uplifting his survivor and victim to deleting that, going on a documentary with him, going to his concert, going backstage with him, and now rewriting and willing to downfall your career in support of him. What was so moving about the documents that you read? If they're also the ones that we can see, by under God, they're not changing our opinions of Drake Bell. So what the fuck's wrong with you? It's a great point.
The table, bitch. What moved you? So with that being said, Alexa Nikolas, do not come for me again. At this point in the video, my camera completely overheated and powered down. So thank you to everybody who has stuck with me through until this point. But as I was saying, this is literally my final sentence before the video was going to be closed. But as I was saying to Alexa Nikolas, you started an organization called Eat Predators to advocate for survivors, then destroyed your own life and your own reputation by dismissing a victim.
Do you hear that? Your own. You destroyed your own
victim's voice. The irony is, you didn't need to eat predators because you cooked and served yourself. Ooh, I kind of ate that. Yes, queen. Anyway, that's about it for today's video.
Okay, first of all, go and support Paige Christie on YouTube. Paige Christie is, let me pull up. This is Paige's YouTube right here. And then on Twitch, let me pull up this. Because, I mean, holy fuck. With a video that's that fucking good, my God. Paige Christie UK. Here you go. On Twitch and then on Instagram and stuff as well. The video is great, and I think it just completely lays out that Alexa is distracting here. She's rewriting the narrative. She's trying to distract with the lawsuits, and it's all ultimately at the end of the day because she ruined her own reputation. She is her own downfall, and I just think bravo, Paige, for that video. And also just seeing Alexa in those videos, you know, reacting to Drake Bell's victim and her being genuinely disgusted, and then seeing her just delete that and walk back on that is just like, what do you stand for? And then it's like, by under God, are you just gonna like continue with Eat Predators after this, or like what's going on there? Or I don't know, but bravo, Paige. So good. Hello, y'all. Wow, that video was incredible. That video was so good. Oh, yeah, shit. Let me give a little shout out here on shout out Paige Christie UK. Did that work? Go follow Paige. Paige streams like all the time.